What is up, guys? We are back at it again with Touchdown Talk. As always, I'm your host, Zack Brown. A lot to go over from NFL this past weekend as well as college football. And we're going to be looking ahead to the Week 7 matchups in the NFL and a lot of big-time games coming up this weekend in college football. So let's dive right into it. As we always do, we start off with a recap of the NFL, and then we will get to our college football at the end of the show. A lot of crazy and unexpected action in the NFL happening. Everybody's obviously talking about the 49ers and the Eagles, the last two undefeated teams in the NFL. They both go down, and two very shocking opponents nobody really expected. The Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. Now, let's talk about the 49ers game, and then obviously we'll talk about the Eagles game. Everybody knows, you've seen it on here before. I'm an Eagles fan, but I'll be realistic and not freak out too much like I have been, like a lot of Eagles fans seem to do. So with the 49ers game, it was just a sloppy game. Just overall sloppy. Defensive battle, that's what happens when you're in Cleveland in the rain. Field conditions were less than great. And the 49ers had chances. They had a chance they put a drive together at the end. Brock Purdy, he wasn't great in the game, but he did facilitate a drive at the end. Their kicker, Moody, missed two big-time field goals in the game, and that's what ended up costing him. I think there is a blueprint to beat the 49ers now, and they're dealing with some injuries, so that will be another topic of discussion once again. If the 49ers go through the year with missing a bunch of pieces on their team, that will definitely have some outrage or whatever from pushback from their fans. Oh, if we didn't have all our guys hurt, well, I mean, if in butts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry fucking Christmas now, wouldn't we? Injuries are just a part of the NFL, and mistakes are a part of the NFL. Transition perfectly into the mistakes. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles had a plethora of those against the New York Jets. The Eagles' defense was really good against the Jets, and I mean, essentially they gave up 12 points. The touchdown at the end was, hey, let's let them score and to give our offense a chance to have the ball back and go down the field. And then that obviously backfired pretty hard. Jalen made a bunch of mistakes, and the mistakes that looked like Carson Wentz mistakes from the Eagles days there. Can't make those after you're getting paid, but everybody's going to have a sloppy game. Everybody's going to lose. Everybody in the NFL loses unless you are the 1972 Dolphins, with them old bastards still popping champagne to this day, with no other NFL team able to reach that undefeated mark through the entire season and postseason. It's just hard. It's a different time now. Teams are so much closer in competition and the level that they're at than back in those days. There were a few teams that were decent back then, but I mean, if you had one dominant team, you didn't have no one else had a chance. But now you see the 49ers, they seemingly were unstoppable. They lose. Eagles, they were rolling. They were undefeated. They lose. It's the NFL. It happens. It was just a weird Sunday. It looked like Vegas needed to get some of their money back, so that might have been some of it too. So Jalen made a lot of mistakes. Losing Lane Johnson, though, in that game was humongous. Not Jack Stoll, their backup tackle, just not good. It was, oh gosh. Lane, please come back for the Dolphins game. It's a high ankle sprain. It's not the best injury to have, especially if you're a tackle going against those edge rushers. Speaking of experience from having ankle sprains, it's not a fun deal. Lane doesn't pull a whole lot, so he has a shot to come back. And the NFL, you've got the best medical teams around you to you might get some of that vitamin T, that Toradol, and get your ankle wrapped up and put it in slush buckets all the entire way. It might be fine. But yeah, it sucks if he's going to be out. Jalen got tons of pressure, and it was evident that a couple of those interceptions were a result of that, and then just poor decision making. Got antsy on his feet. You learn from the mistakes. You learn from losing, and they head to a big game this week. So we're touching on just a couple of those. Got a late week this week, so we want to dive into what's coming up. Everybody saw what happened this past week. The Chargers once again lose a close game in a primetime fashion against the Cowboys. And the Lions are still rolling. I think the Lions are the best team right now in the at least the NFC, if not the entire NFL. They are 5-1. They are putting wins together. They're very, 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 very consistent for their season so far. It's really cool to see. I enjoy seeing the Lions team. They have not been relevant really ever, especially since I've been alive. And it's just cool to see. It's just something you didn't expect. You only expected in Madden franchise modes and stuff. So, yeah, I think it's good for that city and good for, obviously, the organization. I think it's good for the NFL, too. But let's preview some of these games coming up. So, as always, we're going to preview coming up with Week 7. If you want to talk about other games, go ahead and comment down below. I'll try to get to you and from this past week's action, and we'll figure it out then. But obviously, this section is brought to you by my friends over at W Energy. Go to w.gg, use the promo code ZBHP, get 10% off your order. W Energy, great energy supplements and hydration supplements. Fits every need that you have. They also have shakers. They got really cool merchandise. So go check them out. W.gg, promo code ZBHP, get 10% off your order. You definitely won't regret it. W Energy, be better. All right, we are heading into the Week 7 already. We are almost halfway there, people. And I don't have it on the screen right now, so just trust me when you see this right now. But I can't really put NFL graphics on the same thing. But the first game of the week is Thursday Night Football. The Saints are hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are on a roll right now. I didn't expect them to come back from London without a break and just stomp the Indianapolis Colts. They're getting in a groove. Trevor Lawrence is rolling on his thing, doing his thing right now. Doug Peterson is getting in his coaching groove. I think he's back to calling the plays. It's very evident that he's doing it. And ETN is being an absolute monster. So I like the Jaguars on Thursday Night Football to go into New Orleans and beat Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints. Heading into Sunday's action, we don't have any over-the-sea international games this week. It takes 2 weeks off, then we're going to Germany. Excited to see all that stuff. But you got an NFC South matchup between the Falcons and the Buccaneers. Buccaneers coming off a tough loss against the Detroit Lions. Falcons had a lackluster performance last week. I like the Buccaneers to bounce back more than I like the Falcons to bounce back. Falcons just got a lot of question marks with Desmond Ridder. I like the Buccaneers to beat the Falcons in Tampa Bay. Bears and Raiders, I don't know what to expect of either of these teams. The Raiders are a very physical team. They were evident in that in beating the New England Patriots. The Bears, they look good on a primetime game, and then they shit the bed. I'm not going to trust them too much. The Raiders over the Bears. Browns and Colts. The Colts lose Anthony Richardson the entire year due to season-ending shoulder surgery, so it's Gardner Minshew's time for the entire year. But I think Cleveland Browns will come in. They have a lot of emotion. They're rolling off of a high after beating the San Francisco 49ers. That defense is very, very, very scary. Jim Schwartz has got those guys flying around. Myles Garrett is obviously just that dude. I like the Browns to go into Indianapolis and beat the Colts. Commanders, Giants. It's going to be a physical NFC East battle. It just is. That's how it always is between all division opponents in that division. They hate each other. It's in MetLife. It's very shitty-ass turf. It's terrible. People are getting hurt left and right there. They need to change that. I like the Commanders going into New York and beating the Giants. They're just they're struggling right now, and they're almost in a free fall. And I like the Commanders to beat the Giants. Lions and Ravens. This is a really intriguing game. The Ravens just getting back across from the pond. Very impressive performance against the Tennessee Titans. But the Lions are rolling right now, 5-1. They believe, and they are trusting one another. And you start getting momentum. That's a scary, scary thing for the rest of the NFL. For the Lions, it's a very good thing. I like the Detroit Lions to go into Baltimore and beat the Ravens. You got the Bills and Patriots. This shouldn't really be too much of a competition, but the Bills nearly lost to the Giants, so look out for that. The Patriots is bad. I think this is Bill Belichick's last year. Like I've been saying, I like the Buffalo Bills go into New England and take care of business up there. The Cardinals, Seahawks, NFC West battle. The Cardinals aren't going to go down without a fight, but the Seahawks are just the better team. I like them to bounce back and beat the Cardinals. Steelers and Rams. Steelers going to LA out west. Steelers have not looked good at all this year, and they still have not relinquished any of their play calling duties to anyone else besides Matt Canada. The Rams are starting to get some momentum. Cooper Kupp's getting better and better each week, and Matthew Stafford's finding his confidence once again. I like the Rams over the Steelers in this game. Chargers and Chiefs. I think that's the pretty much national game of the week at the 4:25 slot. Chargers come off a disappointing loss, but the Chargers always play the Chiefs very, very well. Don't be too shocked if the Chargers do come out with a win from this, but still the Chiefs at home, hard to really go against. I do like the Chiefs over the Chargers in a very close game, and I think it could be a potential shootout. The Packers and Broncos. Broncos are just another team that's just not good at all. Packers, they're still young, they're still learning, they just come off a bye. I think that will do a lot. I like the Packers going into Denver and beating the Broncos. Dolphins and Eagles. Dolphins are rolling right now. Had a little bit of a scary situation in a big way. Eagles, obviously, talked about it. They just lost to the Jets, their first loss of the season. They're hungry. They're wearing their Kelly Green uniforms. I think you'll see the injuries, the injured players that have been on the injury report. I think they'll play. I think this is a big game for them. The players want to win there. They want to win in front of this crowd with this Kelly Green uniform. And Julio Jones, I don't know if he makes his appearance in this game, but I don't know how the Eagles got Julio Jones or why they got Julio Jones. I don't know how they're going to use him. Allegedly, they're going to use him in the slot to shore up some possession catches on later downs, like third, maybe even fourth downs, and in the red zone. This is a toss-up. As an Eagles fan, obviously I want the Eagles to win, but I'm looking at it and I'm just like, who's going to guard Tyreek and Jalen Waddle? I think both will have a very good game. It comes down to can the Eagles get to Tua quick enough. He gets rid of that ball so freaking fast. I think Tua has a big game. I think he outshines Jalen Hurts once again on the big stage. I like the Dolphins over the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. And for the Monday Night Football game, the 49ers and the Vikings. Vikings are another team kind of in a free fall right now. They are desperate for a win. 49ers coming off their first loss of the season. Just a weird day, weird conditions. I don't see them losing to the Vikings. I think it will be a comfortable victory for the 49ers over the Vikings. Vikings have been making too many mistakes, just on offense and defense. And 49ers, I think you'll see them stir up a bunch of things, and it's on the dome, so weather's not going to be a factor. I like the Niners over the Vikings. All right, well, that does it for the NFL. So let's go into talking about a little bit of college football in the college football roundup. So let's get into college football. Not a humongous amount of things that happened this past week. The Oregon-Washington game was the biggest one, and that was one hell of a game. I was at a wedding, so I wasn't able to see all of it, especially during the actual ceremony. It's kind of frowned upon to turn on college football on your phone. But you get back to the reception and everything, you pull up your phone and see the back and forth that's happening. You're like, I got to turn a little bit on. And just what a showing. Whoever won this game was going to start being in the driver's seat to be in the college football playoff, and Washington bumps up to number 5. So big victory for the Huskies. Very shocking how good they are this year. And the Pac-12 disintegrating and these guys going to the Big Ten. That's some pretty scary stuff right now. But that's really the biggest one that happened. Let's look ahead at the big games happening this weekend, because we've got some top 10 matchups, and I am excited for it to happen. Don't know why my logo just flew off, but the big noon kickoff, this is where College Game Day is, and I'm not upset that it's not a primetime game. I like these noon kickoff games. I think the teams like it too. There's a lot of emotion, and there's a bitter rivalry between Penn State and Ohio State. If you guys don't know it, look up on it, because Penn State and Ohio State hate each other. The fans from both sides hate each other. Obviously, I'm a Penn State fan. I despise Ohio State, and you can understand how much I really despise Ezekiel Elliott being on the Cowboys and Ohio State too. Penn State going into Columbus, though, that is a tough ask. James Franklin, we all know his record against Ohio State. Very, very bad. I don't even think he has a win against Ohio State yet. Definitely not a top 5 ranked Ohio State. This is a must-win for Penn State, and this is a must-win for James Franklin if he wants to prove that he is the coach capable of getting Penn State over that hump. Drew Aller is going to have to make passes. He's going to have to find comfort in the pocket. They're going to need to run the ball. They have a two-headed monster in the backfield. They need to utilize it. The defense is really good. They need to stay the way they are, stay aggressive, mix up your blitz packages, mix up your different stunts on the D-line, get to the quarterback. You got to pressure them. Don't keep it close. Ohio State, if anything, if it's close, they have a shot to really win it, and they can. So my pick in this one, it's tough. This is also another toss-up. I don't know why. And I am very much sober right now. So don't jump to conclusions once I say this. I like Penn State to go into Columbus and upset number 3 Ohio State. I know that's crazy talk to think about right now. I just have a weird feeling. something's telling me that Penn State can do it. I hope I'm right, and I hope I'm not eating my words here in a couple days. So Penn State over Ohio State. That's my big pick and my bold prediction for this week. Going through the list right now, the one big game is Florida State and Duke. That's the big primetime game happening. Besides Utah at USC, that'll be a decent game too. But Duke is not a bad opponent by any means, and Florida State has been rolling, but not overly impressive. I kind of like Duke to upset Florida State as well. So, yeah, let's go with that bold prediction. Why not at this point? Why not do some upsets this weekend? I'm excited for it. It's going to be a great weekend for football. I hope, obviously, the teams I have always pulled for will do some good stuff for me. If you guys like this, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and the little bell there. Everything helps. If you're listening to this on Apple Pods or anywhere you're listening to it, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you share it with a friend. I appreciate all the support so far. Hit that like on the channel and see what other content I've got on there too. If you like racing, go check out the racing podcast as well. And if you like gaming streams, I got it on there as well. So till next week, guys, we'll see you later.